Good morning, good afternoon, good day. Yeah, ding dong, yeah. Running a little behind. I definitely need to, like I've said before, change the this little screen to just say like starting soon or have some sort of animation or something playing on there to to be like, hey, I'm not leaving everybody in the lurch, I swear. Um but yeah, got up a little later. And by later, it's not like I mean like late, but definitely ended up a later day today because I stayed up like an idiot again playing but you've been lurched, deal with it. But no, I was playing Marvel Rivals like an idiot. Um had a good weekend, but then I didn't really get enough like much time at all to play, and man, it takes so long to rank up in that game that even if you're doing great, you have to still put in the time. Like I was on like a 5 win streak and then I lost one and won three, and I went up like one, like from gold two to gold one. And it's like, cool, this takes forever, especially when I want to get like rocketed past all of gold and platinum and diamond. But that's going to take some time. But so since I was behind, I trying to pull up some cool looking stuff here, but then also trying to get some reference for what we're gonna do today, which is not draw Marvel Rivals, ironically enough, but instead draw a King of Fighters character. Her name is Mai Shiranui. She is a in Street Fighter. She's coming in Street Fighter soon, and so figured I want to get her drawn and get a cool thing of her. But I guess we can get started and pop on the camera and see the bed head. And even I think I still have a weird little indent ever so slightly if it were to be able to zoom in on my cheek from my watch. I woke up today and it was one of those days where like, and by watch I mean just my Fitbit, it doesn't really do much beyond that. But I woke up and it was like the biggest mark on my face ever. I was like, oh great, I was gonna be there a while. But anyway, yeah, so today's goal was to sketch out a thing of Mai, and to do that, I wanted to pull up one, reference of Mai, and two, kind of get an idea of like pose reference of what I was gonna kind of shoot out of. But just like my ArtStation filtering that I do, anybody who knows the FGC or knows just these characters in general, they know that Mai Shiranui can be risque, I guess, to say the least. So to gird her loins, I wanted to make sure I was looking for these reference images off cam too, just in case, because you know what? The internet is a wild, wild place. But luckily, honestly, as I'm looking right now, nothing's too crazy. I mean, her outfit herself is quite a revealing one, but nothing too crazy. I wanted to look up. So the big hullabaloo, if anybody plays Street Fighter, they know we don't get character costumes, right? Marvel Rivals, I tell you, I just bought a Winter Soldier. I love playing Winter Soldier. It's basically now Winter Soldier or Aquaman. Aquaman, goodness. Namor, who are my go-to if I play DPS, who I don't really even play DPS. Yeah, I know Aquaman. Whoops. I don't even play DPS much, but I enjoy it, especially when I play with my buddies on quick play. But if I'm playing ranked, I'm pretty much playing tank. 9 times out of 10, I'm usually going to be. I've moved on. I'm a Doctor Strange main, but Doctor Strange or Penny, depending on the map, or Groot, also depending on the map. But that said, I just bought the Winter Soldier something skin. I don't remember. It looked cool. He had like one of those, those cool guy capes where it's just on one shoulder. I thought it looked cool in motion, so I got that. And then now he's got his sweet Demon Hunter skin coming out. Literally, was it the 30th? Thursday, the 30th. So it's not a lot, and I guess I have to buy that too. I don't listen. I don't make the rules, right? I wish I could. I wish I was the one to make the rules, but since I'm not the one to make the rules, I can't. I just have to follow them. And that means if a skin looks that damn good on a character I do like to play, well, I guess I've got to do it, right? I Wheels are in motion. It's not. It's out of my hands entirely. Oh man, but so I'm trying to. Oh, but what I was getting at, and then in Street Fighter, the day Hello Kitty Island Adventure releases on Switch and Steam. Wild. That is wild, Lopology. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of blanked on what HKIA meant. I had to break that down for those listening at home. I was trying to think of what HK. I was at first my brain went to like I don't know why I read it backwards. And I dyslexic Kingdom Hearts. Like it was like that's the day the Kingdom Hearts remaster 17th time over comes out. I was like, all right, cool. But yeah, well that is exciting. That is really cool. Um, those of you at home, Lopology may have some sort of hand in that game that he's shilling, and he does some great work. But no, anyway, back on the on topic, on Street Fighter though, we don't get character costumes. We've gotten one costume. One effing costume. This entire it's been a year and a half. We've gotten one for everybody. And then now Mai is finally coming out. Let me look up casual, maybe that's better. Mai is coming out and she has her super hornball outfit, like her normal, her classic, and then her new King of Fighters one. Both look great, right? But then her character select has her in a casual outfit, which like people are lusting over because she's just like chilling in like little booty shorts and like a tank top or whatever. And it's actually a throwback to one of the original King of Fighters games where she's like her victory, I think it was like this long weird scenario. And then she wakes up and it's actually like her just in bed having a bad dream and she's wearing that, like the little casual outfit. But so everyone's like, you made and the director came out and said, oh yeah, that's just for the character select screen. We're not gonna make that. That's not an actual skin that you can use. Like one, I kind of get it because it seems super, very little clothing. But I mean, honestly, she's got more stuff covered than her normal outfit. But yeah, so the fact that we now have a character have a specific costume just for the select screen, that's it, just a select screen, and yet we don't even get a third is wild. And so looking at Mai right now, I'm trying to find just I guess if I was just going to draw her casual fit, doesn't super matter, I suppose. But I was trying to find also, like, I wanted to draw, like, one of her chillin' casual and then her normal costume, which is basically just one piece of red cloth and then, like, a big bow in the back. Let's look up the new one then. Let's go straight from the new source. Costume classic. Again, apologies I'm not showing this on. I just don't trust the internet when searching anything with Mai. I like how the internet knows me though. I typed Mai instead of my King of Fighters, and then I got the first things were actually Avatar, Mai, and then Mai from Dragon Ball. And then eventually Mai Shiranui with King of Fighters. But good job, internet. You knew me. So weirdly enough, I can't. It sounds really dumb. I can't find a picture of what her outfit looks like from behind. And once you see the costume, you'd be like, ooh, how are they not? That's weird. You'd think there'd be plenty of images of that. But, yeah, I cannot find one. Cannot find one. Well, I might need to just call it and say, oh, well, if I can't find it. Because basically, she's got, like, some sort of, like, tail. And I don't really understand where it comes from. It looks like it legit comes out of her butt. Like, and I don't really understand what's happening on that. Well, maybe we just draw it coming out of her butt. And that's it. Because I don't want to type behind. Oh my gosh, never mind. Is that what it is? So it looks like it's a tail coming out of her butt. But it's a knot with like... I get it. Now I've got... This is an action figure, which I guess makes sense from Good Smile. That obviously needs to be seen in 3 dimensions. So we've got a good old picture of my cheeks. Cool. Anyway, let's not keep looking up pictures of a booby lady on the internet. And let's look at some cool stuff on ArtStation instead, yeah? Sound good? As we start that, though, I'm going to drink some coffee from a new mug. Girlfriend went to Home Goods or a couple places this weekend, or last week, I can't remember, with her sister. And I have my Buzz Lightyear one I've shown off. It says to infinity. And this is another one, Whistle While You Work, with the dwarves. And she thought that would be cute. She's like, that's perfect for when you're at the computer working. And I said, okay, I like new mugs. And it's orange. You can't see, but it's orange on the inside. Well, you can see. And it looks cute. Right? The foreshortening on this crazy fisheye perspective too. Like whenever you've got, so right off the bat, we've got Basilio Moya. This was from the character design challenge we had in January, was pirate animals, apparently. I do vaguely recall this. But I love these kind of shots, like this perspective here of this crazy fisheye. And I feel like this is not uncommon for pirate scenes. Like I've seen stuff like this before, like the idea, because like imagine being on a pirate ship, right? And seeing another massive one from below like that. It would get warped and super fish-eyed, especially with the water and everything. But yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of this. Even just a piece I did this weekend I can show had not like crazy foreshortening, but I always like to mess with that if possible. But this is clean. I like this. And as always, oh, this would have been a dope pose too. Talk about good perspective and able to foreshorten coming down the rope like this in this pose. That's badass looking. You know we got to look at the rest of this person's stuff. They even had sketches on paper. What archaic relic of the past is that? Paper? Nah. Ooh, that would be dope, like with the Treasure Planet vibe instead. So it's cool, like, again, we always talk about, like, what they decide to change. And if you notice, they had pirates everywhere. And they originally had the idea of having 2 pirates, like, right here. And it looks like they nixed that and put them just very blurred in the distance, which is smart, because then I feel like it gets really busy and would be competing. Where this now, boom, it's all this tiger man pirate. I mean, everything else is secondary. There's nothing even trying to compete character-wise. I like it. I like it. Also, do we notice these look like little feline? Is that like little tiger eyes up here? So their flag looks like it's a skull, but then it looks almost like a tiger. Like the little ears. God, I love those little touches people do. Adorable. So let's look at this person's stuff because I am a fan. They are, as usual, from Not America. I am shocked. It's almost like their education system and ability to fund and pursue the arts is vastly superior than that of the United States. Crazy, wild, who'd have thought? Fun fact, my family is in the process of actually, not me because I don't feel like spending 2 grand on it, um, becoming citizens of the EU. They're starting the paperwork and stuff like that. My grandparents fled during World War II when they were kids, and so we can easily just get dual citizenship. And so my mom and cousins and stuff are actually going through the process now as a just in case we gotta leave kind of deal. She was trying to push it on me. It was 2 grand, and I'm not bringing in a lot of money, let's just say. And while 2 grand isn't too much, to have dual citizenship. Oh, I love this, that it looks like a carrot. This is good. Oh, that's cute as hell. It's literally just like a just in case kind of thing for 2 grand. I'm like, I can buy a not just in case thing for 2 grand if I wanted. Like toys. I'm talking about toys. No, realistically, I'd be talking about better equipment to do stuff like this eventually, where I don't have to do it in here. Which one were we talking about? And the VFX too. There's quite a. I just scrolled through a ton. Oh, the carrot. Yeah, I'm sure you're talking about the carrot because the fire looked dope. Those VFX. Yeah, I like the how the glowiness of this, and even like so. There's some sort of magic sigil and explosion. And look at this. It's a carrot. It's a carrot with little leaves coming out. I cannot like when people do, yeah, when people do themed stuff like this and really sell it, right? Like you can do it or you can do it, right? Yeah, 100%. That's dope. And even here looks like a carrot. Everything's so good. But like either you do it or you do it. Like you really do it. And I love when they really do it. This is cool. I like the idea of like it's almost like water then whatever's going on here with this guy too. Okay, I could get lost in this guy's stuff. These are some clean ideas. Let's look at Songhoo Lee, the Red Wolf Kin. Oh, it's like a family. I like it. Said every time when I scroll and I see more pictures, I'm always excited because I didn't expect to see more. I actually saw the other day. I didn't save it because I couldn't. It was just an image. I wanted to find the original person who made it, but it was a Lego minifig of Guts from Berserk thing, seeing the sword. And they made the sword and they made all these other like characters and he's like swinging around and they had like some good photography where they were getting like chopped into bits and stuff. It was pretty rad. Give me one sec. I did forget to I've been trying. I'm not a social media person. I hate it, quite frankly. I don't do social media. But I've been trying now that I've been doing this stuff more to post more, right? Like to actually do that kind of stuff. And so I'm trying to get better with at least using Blue Sky. If I do one thing, right, I'm going to use one thing. It'll be Blue Sky for now. And I've been wanting to post when I'm live, but oh well. I'm just doing that real quick. Go have a good meeting. Drawing my okay. My apologies. I just had to be a cool guy and let the world know. Sure you could find that Lego at. Oh yeah, I'm sure that there's a knockoff of that somewhere. And when you go to MegaCon in Florida. But okay, so this is dope. Let's see what else this person's got. I liked whenever it's a family theming or stuff like that, you can see the. Oh, they they do this a couple times. I like this where they've got, like, they paint a whole scene by just giving us a few characters. Adorable. I like the way that they paint too. It's not quite watercolory, but it has this really soft feel that I like. And yet, they still have some of these harder things too, obviously, but this current way. Ooh, I like all the purples in these pieces. What do we have? That raven or crow, whatever, same difference in my mind. I love that. A lot of these people's pages, I'm like, man, I could get lost all day just opening up each one and oogling it. So I have to keep in mind time. So I will not, but I will follow. 100%. This one grossed me out, and so I wanted to click on it. I didn't know what was going on here. But my friends and I have a rule that if I saw it, you have to see it too. And there you go. Now you have to see it too. Now it's a solid piece. These kind of like overweight just goobers kind of throw me off always, but a cool like cyberpunky orphan. It looks like it says there are siblings recruited from early age, blah blah blah. All right, I like the use of colors. I like they've rendered very simply but efficiently the different materials here, like the leather and a base cloth, the hair, the metallic, the super reflective helmet. Like, I appreciate it. Not my vibe of characters at all, but ooh, I do like this Medusa. Oh, a bunch of, oh no. Oh no, gonna make me scroll. Oh no, you're gonna make me scroll. Medusa in roller skates. Roller disco between monsters. This is a neat, silly concept. These are some dope things. I feel like you could easily take any of these and focus heavily and make some cool stuff. I like that a lot. All right, all right, all right. They get a follow too. From, again, guess what? Not America. This one just looked strange to me. I don't know how often I see like this type of energy coming out of with not gingerbread, nutcrackers, but this is cute. So it looks like what this person's doing is taking like inspiration from actual like wood carved ornaments. Guardian of Christmas Past. These are cute. I like, this is a pretty idea. Solid stuff. Oh, and that was it. That was all she wrote. So now, I guess, for if you weren't here, I wanted to draw my from Street Fighter, but not really from Street Fighter, from King of Fighters. She's making her way next week, I think, already, to the lovely shores of Street Fighter 6. And so what that means is I would like to draw her. But I also don't know, like, I know what she looks like. I've played King of Fighters, I've played Goro, I've played, you know, fighting games a lot. I actually think I have. I think Mai is in, wait, no. That's SNK. I think my King of Fighters is over there. Off camera, don't worry about it. Trust me. But yeah, so I obviously know her design, but it's one of those things where like until you stop and break down a design, your brain doesn't know it, right? And that's what was happening here, because I was looking for her and I didn't know what was coming out of her butt. It always looked like, I always thought it was like two, like a piece of material here and a piece of material here, which it looks to be the case in some instances, but then it looks like some have a big bow. Some have like a bow and a single thing, but to me this looked like hair. So I didn't really understand. The Street Fighter rendition has hair, but then this one makes it look like it's like that's part of the knot, like the tie of her belt and outfit together possibly. So I don't really know what I'm looking at still. Like, because every image I found is different. Like every single one is different. But regardless, this has been flooding the internet. Oh, wait, is this a concept? The actual Street Fighter. Oh, this is low quality. Can I look? Enhance. Enhance. So it looks like it like goes in like almost like a little thong thing, and this is just in Street Fighter, it's a bow, but the bow, like the ribbon has hair. A butt tail. I actually am not quite sure what we're looking at with that, but either way, we're saying this is the casual outfit that they made just for the character select screen. That everyone's like, why did you make it just for the character select screen and not an actual costume? And to their credit, I also don't understand why they did that. Like, I don't get it. But so I was trying to figure out both the outfit. So what I like to do is figure out outfit and pose. So if this is like, if we want like her casually chilling on a chair, I was looking up casually sitting on a chair. Again, I don't trust the internet, so I'm not going to show you the results, because even with safe search on and all this stuff, I've run into quite a few little hiccups, and I don't want to deal with that. Not on stream. So as I'm looking, she's like tired, and like the whole point is like she's just chilling casually. Looking up people on the internet though, it looks like they're trying hard to be casual, if that makes sense. And that is awkward and not very organic. There's a couple references where I've got somebody sitting, but like they're putting their feet up on a table, which could look cool. But I want to keep it as close to just this, like just her on a chair, just chilling, as possible. And maybe we'll do a couple sketches this week, then like one of this and then one of like her actual like outfit. Let me try a new search. Casually sitting chair. Because again, people always are, oh, you look up this, you look up that. Look up reference for everything, man. What the hell? Why would you not? Like, the internet exists. Your own body exists to look at. Like, everything exists. Why would we not use these things as reference? Because our brain, the less you leave up to your brain having to make up, the more you can focus on the better parts. Like, so I'm the biggest proponent of reference. That reminds me, I had a many lifetimes ago when I worked at the university, I had a boss and we had a meeting, and he had like a presentation, like it was like an orientation type thing, right? And he had a slide on his presentation that just said, like, it was about him talking about paying attention to the little things, right? The details. And so he had one slide that just said details. That goofball misspelled details on the third detail. So it said details, detalis. And I cannot tell you for how many years we made fun of him for that. That you wanted us to focus on the details, and you told us details, detalis. Like, what a dingus. I couldn't, we all died. Like, we could not stop laughing. Like, it was in like more of like a presentation room, and game over, man. Game over. Everybody was just cracking up. But yeah, So details, details, detalis, right? Oh, that's gonna get some weird ads here. Let's actually here. Let's pull up YouTube and let's just take my character select and let's just go from here, right? I'm just gonna. It is cute. Then she like jumps into her outfit. I guess some gameplay would be good with my, so I could see her outfit here. Okay, so my new schedule, by the way, too, I am going to be streaming till 1:30, which means it's going to be like consciously, purposefully 1:30, right? Not just like maybe 1:30. So I brought treats, my little dark chocolates. They're the Dove dark chocolates. They are amazing. They're my favorite. We went a while without them, and we felt it. But now they're back in our lives. We brought them back. We did it. And they're wonderful. My life is 10 times better having them in it. Man. Yeah, I'm bummed I didn't get up earlier to cruise through reference on my own. I wanted to come with more of a plan of attack, but I guess let's just say screw it and let's just draw like what's on screen. Like just chill, do some quick sketches of her as is. And then we can go from there. And then maybe make our own later. But I'm not just gonna sit here and try and look stuff up when it's well past the 11 o'clock was when I need to start. And it is 11:08. That was much later. So let's get this iPad situated and get schmoving, right? I can show what I did this weekend too. I worked on a draw this in your style. Basically a little project thing that like a lot of artists, it was really big like a few years ago. People would draw like different characters, different things, different, interesting characters generally. And then it was a draw this in your style. So it would be like an artist would post a cool picture of something they did, and then they say like, hey, draw this your way. And so I guess instead what I can do is I can pull up Blue Sky. Instead of looking at it on my iPad, we can look at it on here real quick. And basically, it was this person's Fox Popvly. Super cute little like fox girl. And so what I made was my own fox girl. And what I talked about earlier was like I always end up doing some sort of perspective, some sort of foreshortening. And this was no different. I still did the same thing, and I thought it turned out cute. I'm not one to draw like anthropomorphic characters ever. I just don't. This was a fun little experiment. Obviously, it's basically just a human within a big old fox head that I had to figure out how I wanted it to look. But it reminded me of like Sonic the Hedgehog energy, which was fun. But yeah, so I did that this weekend, and now we will do something new and draw some my, like I said. So let's get the iPad set up here. Open up a new file, get all that jazzed, and let's swap on over so we can actually see the iPad. So get rid of that random drawing of mine. We don't need to see that anymore. We should look at my though. So we've got just her chilling. And it's basically just like little shorts and a tank top, right? Nothing crazy. Her hair's in a ponytail. Looks like her hairstyle's still kind of the same, right? Just like the bangs. Bangs are the same. Maybe not as extravagant vibed of a ponytail. But I mean, it's still there. It's just not accentuated as heavily like the costume. Okay. Okay. Um, yeah. So whatever. Like I said, let's not focus too much, dwell on the fact that I can't think of a good reference or find anything. Let's just go off the cuff and just draw this and be lazy. Also, because it's Monday and I'm kind of tired. This is the warm up. We've got a my warm up. So let's get some tunes moving in the background as usual. Just same old energy. Just chilling. There we go. Okay. So, collarbone needs to crunch. So to start off, let's look at everything set. Got just a black pencil ready to up, and just throw her up on here, right? Just a basic. She's just chilling. She's just, her head is obviously the most visible. So what I'm probably gonna do is, when you've got like prop heavy things, it's hard to figure out proportions of the chair. I feel like I don't like doing that. Like if I'm doing like a thing like that, I prefer drawing the character first. So in this instance, she is going to be drawn the way I want to draw her. And then we will move into adding the chair onto it. So as usual, mine is always sketchy as can be, just roughing in some shapes so we know where her hair is. I always like to look at like what connects first. So like her head to the shoulder. Her head isn't touching the shoulder, but I kind of want it to be. Like it's very much more resting on the shoulder. Right there, she's like looking longingly, almost touching, but not. So I want her kind of a little more directly on the shoulder. So we blop. She's looking, I still want her face a little more forward. Her head is tilted down, but her eyes are looking up. That looks funny. And then quick little bit blocked in. So my problem, as we all know here, is I don't draw sexy ladies, right? I draw strong ladies. And so the internet likes sexy ladies, though. And so that's been a skill that I've been trying to get better with, though it's still a struggle for me. But so again, when I'm plopping in an idea, or like in this case, like looking at this reference pretty blatantly, always you look at where things connect and don't connect. So like we saw that her wrist, right? So if we look at the, oh my gosh, we're looking at a thing that's not even fully on screen. I forgot, because when we do this. So if we look at her wrist, it's making, oop, does this work? No, this is not going to look good. Can we, let me screen grab it and then I'll make it look better that way. 1 second. Snipping tool. Grab it. And then now we've just got, now it can actually be kind of seen a little better. Obviously not the greatest, but you get the idea. So what I look at here is, if we see her connection points, is like her shoulder is by her face. Her one shoulder is higher than the other, right? Her left shoulder is higher than the right because she's leaning into it. And then we look at her elbows are pretty lined up, but our left elbow is a little bit higher. The angle is a little weighted down, right? Because it's like a relaxed pose. So the arm is actually kind of like the energy is being pushed down. She's casually sitting here, where so her hand is propping up this angle that's being dropped, right? It's a very like light casual pose. And then if we look at other points of contact that I like to do, so point of contact 1 would be kind of like shoulder to hand. to wrist. And so if we look on here, oh goodness, her forearm cuts right where this hand comes. So that lines up pretty well. We got that landmark in. Focus on landmarks if you're trying to reference a pose or get even just general ideas down like this. Referencing landmarks is your best bet. Don't just look at the picture as a whole, right? Like, yes, you have to look at it as a whole, but then a key to being able to translate stuff is understanding what to focus on that will sell the thing. And so interaction points like this are usually the best place to start. So by having this space be represented, then it already starts selling, right? So her arm is resting like that. There's this point kind of falling down too. I want her kind of like touching more, like, when you're like, put your head kind of on your arm, like your forearm there. I kind of want it to be adjusted to be more like that. So she's actually making contact rather than, again, like this is just a pause, like a quick moment of time in her loading, her character select. So it's not like it's a finalized crazy piece that they're trying to show as a still. It's just her animation. So I just paused it at one spot. So she may actually make contact at one point. I'm not sure. Something about this shoulder, though, if we're talking about distance, trying to figure out why this looks weird, the shoulder, and I think it's because it should be kind of curved a little more from down to up and then back down. So we've got the shoulder. I always, again, not me, everybody, a lot of people just draw it as a tube, right? It's a foreshortened tube. And we've talked about before that, like, you don't need the details perfect. He lives, folks. He lives. The meeting is over. Meeting adjourned. But yeah, so the general consensus, by the way, apology, was that I got lost in the weeds looking for reference. Couldn't find anything. It is Monday. I'm rusty anyway. I haven't drawn today. So I'm just going to look at this one of her chilling and just draw my own little version of this. Doing some minor tweaks, adjusting mainly where her head is. I want it to be physically resting on the body rather than kind of like floating. But again, this is her in her character select outfit that the director has come out and said, tough crap. Sexy ladies indeed, right? And like I've said, this is a skill that I'm trying to get better at. I think what I'm gonna need to do, honestly, is just have a page or two. Like right now I'm focusing on her, this pose, but I think what I really need to do, this is long, so my laziness, what I do when something's too long, I just do this. Erase. Oh my. I erase just a chunk, grab it, and then smush it back. Like, it's the laziest way of shortening things when I realize they're too long, but it works. But yeah, no, I think what I need to do is have like it's my from King of Fighters. But yeah, the I need to do like a page, like I said, like, because like when I was younger, I would do studies, right? I'd have pages and pages and pages of anatomy. I still do figure drawing stuff quite a bit. I love drawing people. But the problem is with drawing people right now, again, this is still too long. I draw them, I don't want to say like anatomically correct, because I'm not saying. Oh, yeah. It's no longer rivals. Like I said, we're drawing cool things. No, we're mixing it up, because since she comes out this next week, I wanted to. The whole thing with me drawing stuff, I kind of wanted to be topical and kind of focus on new games too. Like I want rivals to be like back burner always, but then like, hey, she's coming out in Street Fighter, a game I really like. I would like to draw her. Or then the week after, it's Monster Hunter's coming out, right? So it's like, well, Monster Hunter's coming out. I probably would like to draw something with Monster Hunter because those designs are wonky and adorable and fun, right? And then it's like, okay, then I can go back to or Marvel Rivals, and then I can, like just kind of bounce between things to draw. But I should then do a page or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, or honestly like a week of studies at least, just drawing the human figure. Like, do I have, let's see real quick. Let's like some days I'll just do like figure drawing things, or I'll just draw a bunch of hands. I think this was a whole like a billion hands. Just a billion hands. Can't stop, won't stop. Oh, there was the reference I was pulling. One of the many references I pulled from with that one. Or like I was just drawing feet. Just drawing feet, no big deal. Or just drawing like quick studies, right? I love doing that. And it helps. It definitely helps. A lot of these are hard because you can't see the layers per se, but I know there's plenty behind all of like I think this one has a bunch. This one, like what was this? These were a bunch of, again, just bodies. Just drawing bodies. Different, and then quick, playful, colorful rendering of stuff. Yeah, just a ton of different quick things to draw. And I need to do that though with female bodies. Oh, I forgot about this. This was a cute one. I should finish this at some point. I don't remember. I think this was a draw this in your own style from like a year ago. That was cute. Man, I get distracted. But anyway, I need to do that with the female figure where I stylize it and I actually get better. Like my brain understands like this is where the hips are. This is where, the shoulders move and all these things, but like I'm not great at like over stylizing those aspects of the female form. I'm okay over stylizing like their shoulders. There are plenty of sexy ladies in that, but they're not like, I appreciate that show's use of female empowerment in that like there's different, at least in the first season, right? You know me, still haven't finished. There isn't like overtly hornball sexy energy. Like, yes, there are sexy women, but like they're attractive because they're personalities and they're strong and they're drawn in ways that are just attractive, not trying to be like, check out my boobies, like very well done stuff. But it's almost too good. I don't want that good of a, I need degenerate Arafina. Okay, I need degenerate reference. Because you got to overtune. You got to go big. Just like these things on her chest right now that are quite big. Go big or go home. Yeah, the actual like lore they come from. Oh my goodness. Like they are so, it's wild stylistically how different they went and how well it paid off. Like, I feel like if they were to have done them in their league designs, one, it wouldn't work for the yeah, Kate's got quite a bit in the actual league designs. But like if they were to have obviously done the league designs more accurately or more like faithful to the exact, it wouldn't have read the story, right? That doesn't fit the story. But not only would it not fit the story, I feel like in today's age, that's a harder sell too. Yeah, that is like ultimate pinup she is. They made her so much more like stoic, I guess, in this one, which is pretty in Arcane. But I don't know if as many people would have watched it. Like if it was her, like if it was the actual like league designs, because as attractive as they may be to some people, it also doesn't, like Arcane ended up being a universal thing, right? Like it wasn't just people who like half the people who watched Arcane didn't even know what the hell League of Legends was, or like I remember seeing multiple things because I play 2XKO. That's the new fighting game with them, and like I remember in the Alpha Lab, a lot of people didn't even know who like any of the characters were, but then they released a thing for Jinx because she's going to be in the game. And I remember a lot of the internet was like genuinely confused by her design in the game because it's the League design, right? She is unbelievably over the top and giggly and, you know, like the Harley Quinn of like the League world. And it was just funny because like they didn't even, that is Jinx. That's who she is. Like, that's the character. They made her, we see her backstory and how she gets to become this, maybe, but this is who she is too. But it's just funny because then you realize like so many people don't even know the source material, but had they leaned into the source material, I don't think it would have been as effective, like as popular. Not as many people would have been able to relate to it, I feel like, because it feels video gamey. And for us, obviously, I'm sure we love that. You know what I mean? But like for the average Netflix enthusiast who just boots it up, like that's something my dad would have clicked on, right? He would have clicked on Arcane. I think he probably did, knowing him. Knowing my dad, he probably clicked on it and then watched 5 minutes and then fell asleep and then turned something else on and then forgot he was watching it. And then my mom said, "What about that show you're watching?" He'd be like, "Oh, I finished it last week while I was sleeping. I don't even know." That's my dad. Oh, is there test footage of that kind of like you're saying like test footage of what Arcane, like maybe like original ideas for Arcane, they had test footage of that online? I've never seen that at all. I've only seen the final product basically. Gotcha. That makes sense. If I remember, I might pull it up on stream later, but I haven't drawn much, so I want to draw a little something first. But I'll definitely pull that up on stream in a bit and look at it myself because I'm intrigued by what their initial idea would have been. Again, as I always talk about, I love seeing what was, what could have been, and then what we have. You know, like that. I think as artists is the coolest thing to see, that that growth and that change, and that's pretty dope. That I'm assuming. I'd be curious then. Do you know how it shifted? Did Riot not like it, or was it one of those things where the studio was like, actually, what if we do this instead? I think we can make it better. Because either way, to have the confidence to do something different and something so expensive and different is pretty. Okay, I'll give myself, what time is it right now? I'll pull it up in like maybe 45 minutes or so, just so I at least have some people coming in here see that I do draw. I swear, I don't just talk about art and get distracted all the time too. I do draw. I think it just evolved. There's like a whole multi-part doc on YouTube going through the entire process. Okay, that's cool. I will definitely add that to my list then of no. Okay, here's the big question. I still haven't finished the finale, even though I said last time you were on stream I said I would. Is there a spoiler for the finale? Probably. Oh, she'll remind me. She's got like an alarm. It's 12:45. Arcane document time. Document. Um, or I guess I could just, finally commit and watch the finale and then watch the multi-part doc. But I'm saying like the document. Why can't I say documentary? My brain is not able to speak right now. I told you this is why we needed to just draw a basic thing of my right now. Um, that itself doesn't go into spoilery territory is what I was making sure. Wow, you almost got so spoiled for me. How rude. Would have rioted in the streets. No pun intended for riot. Yeah, what have we been watching? Oh, we started watching Arcane Bridging the Rift. That's a cute name even. Gosh, they're good. They're good. They know a thing or two. No, we finally booted up the Goosebumps TV show. The new one, not the first one they did. It's with Ross Geller. I don't remember the actor's name. It's pretty good. I mean, you go into it knowing it's just like another Goosebumps story. And I kind of like if they lean into it this way of being like each season's just like its own thing. It feels like where it's not going to be interconnected really. It's just like you're reading the books like, "Oh, this is just another Goosebumps story, like another weird thing that has transpired that would make a book that you read when you were 11." You know, like just simple. It's cute. It's honestly, when I say cute, I mean it's actually weirdly creepy. Like way creepier than the first one quite a bit. Like there's some really like messed up scenes where like Amy and I look at each other like that just happened? Like they're definitely leaning into if you ever followed R.L. Stine. Actually, speaking of speaking of recaps of things, the I can't say documentary right now. The there was one I watched and listened to a long while back on R.L. Stine himself and how he transitioned from the season 1 was definitely that's a good assessment where the first one was definitely geared towards kids with some more like intense moments thrown in, where the second one now is, which you say season, but it's interesting because technically I don't think they're considering them different seasons. They're like different you know what I mean, like they're different. So I feel like they're almost, it almost feels like what is that one that I didn't like on Netflix just because I don't like scary things? Haunting of Bly Manor or something, where they did like 4 different seasons or something, and each season was kind of like a different story that they told. Haunting on Hill House or something. I don't know. But like, I think they're going that route where it's like technically the same show, but not really. Like IMDb wise, like not considered the same season. But yeah, it's definitely got us jumping a couple times. Not jumping, but like, ooh, that was weird. Ooh, that was gross. Ooh, that was kind of creepy. I don't know. Man, this is my problem of not warming up before I hop on stream, because then some of these sketches are just so not where I want them to be. But that's okay. You guys can see the process. I just need to get a better schedule where Mondays I wake up a little earlier, because apparently this needs some extra love going from the weekend into the work week of being rusty as hell. Which, completely random. What did you say? Well, yeah, as someone who enjoys structure, I'm sure keeping it as seasons is more helpful for someone like you. I don't really mind one way or the other, honestly. The end result's pretty much the same. But no, I said something as hell or whatever, and my brain reminded myself of like some stupid thing I saw, TikTok-y, Instagram, whatever, I don't friggin' know anymore, thing, that talked about that you know, in my mind, it's always, that's cold as hell. But like, you always hear people sometimes be like, that's cold as hell. Like, and I just think of it as like a more playful, like, you know, like accentuating hell in almost like a southern accent energy. That's cold as hell. But also the realization that that's actually the word of the original phrase, cold as hail. Hail is ice. Hail is literally frozen water. like precipitation, you know, like coming from the sky. Cold as hail. It's not hell. Hell's hot. Hell ain't cold. Yeah, I thought that was. No, I felt real dumb when I saw that. I was like, oh, I mean, that does make weirdly perfect sense. That's cold as hail. The more you know, right? So I think drawing what we don't see will help me right here because I don't know what's going on. So let's give her these big old. We were watching Superstore, and one of our favorite characters, Marcus. Right? It is one that like it makes sense how it went to hell because that just sounds like hell and fits kind of in a weird way. That's cold as hell. Like, ooh, that's cold. Like, that's evil, right? Like that's kind of how it sounds. Like, oh, that's evil, man. That's cold. But it really is physically cold. But no, I died the other day. Like I remember a lot of Marcus's lines, right? Marcus in that show for anybody who hasn't seen it is just like a dingus, like straight up. He talks about like saving bathroom water because he smashes his poop down the drain in the shower with his feet and like weird stuff. He's a weird character. And one of the things he said the other day in one of the episodes, again, I've seen this episode 30 times probably, but my brain didn't remember it. They were trying to like cancel the one character because he was running for like store something. I can't remember what it was. And they were trying to be like, he's not a feminist, look. And they had like a picture of him that was like super photoshopped of him at Hooters. And Marcus goes, why didn't you tell me that you're bonkers for honkers? I don't know why. Being bonkers for honkers is a phrase I didn't know I needed in my life. But, and I, for some reason, it didn't stick to memory like the other ones he said. But bonkers for honkers is now like part of my everyday vernacular, whether I want it to be or not. So I suppose fitting for the image. No, that. So sometimes the internet provides us with things that we didn't need. And by we, I mean as human beings shouldn't exist. And sometimes, you know, some people I know will send me these things. And their existence alone makes me question humanity. Not my friend's existence, the video's existence that is sent. I mean, she got a big butt. It would technically be smushed. And see, this is where I'm like, my anatomy person cuts in because, like, realistically, right? Like, if you're drawing someone's butt on a chair like this, the way that they're positioned, her, especially how big this character's butt is, right? Her thigh would cut up here. And then, like, you would see the muscle and fat here. This would be technically the abductor, I believe, part of the gluteus here, the part that sticks out on the side here. But so like it would flow through the bone and the muscle this way, and the excess fat and muscle here would kind of pool and be like a butt. Obviously, that's not a great image of it. But like in this though, it's like, no, 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 no. Britton, forget about real anatomy. How do you simplify to look more I don't know, I say attractive because to me realism is pretty attractive, but like more appealing to the masses, I guess. And it's like, oh yeah, that would be by not having extra like fat just sitting around. Okay, so I just need to block in these shapes now because I was getting lost in the weeds of this. Again, trying to just vaguely gauging, like, okay, so if her leg's bent like this, her knee is bending in, makes contact kind of with the foot. Again, focusing on junction points of like how things interact. I feel like her upper body actually needs a little bit more breathing room right here. It felt like her upper body was really stubbly. Which is hard to gauge, like, proportions when the characters who, you know, when people are honkers for bonkers and they're just really, really large and hard to kind of gauge proportions underneath because they're like unnaturally big. And that's again where it comes in, where I need to get better at certain lines should not be spoken on stream. But yes. But yeah, so definitely need to, yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do this week in some free time, is just draw stylized bodies and get a better gauge of it. I could do some on stream right now, probably. Would probably be to my benefit, honestly. But so we had the shape. So once I like bubble in like the leg, right? So here's the leg, and then now she's got different masses. So like obviously the adductors in here would be rolled up in that, and then the thigh here, that like the fat folds around a little bit before the knee bend. So we have that little bit. And then this is like heavily foreshortened. And it's, you can't even see because this is where the chair will be then, right? So the chair is here. Ish. Right? Yeah, it'll cut into, excuse me. So the other day was funny. We bundled up. We went to, like, went for a walk, did our stuff, whatever. And then, like, later that day, we were going out to go to Poke Bros to get some food and then go run a couple errands. And it's been so cold that we bundle up like nobody's business. But it's funny that yesterday was like 27 degrees. And like we stepped out and I was like, oh my gosh, this is nice. Like, because it's been negative something. And so my brain has been so accustomed to this like extreme cold that then walking out in just normal cold feels so nice by comparison. And it's funny, normally I'll be like bundled up to the nines, all my stuff. And then here I had like a light jacket and just like like gym pants on. And I was like, this is fine. I don't feel nothing. Like, it is funny how your body adjusts to so many different things that like a normal non-Midwesterner would come here and be like dead, right? Or like even my sister who lives in Florida now has gotten used to it. Wow. I mean, technically the logic is sound, right? Everything is relative. So even if it's 50 for you, to me, I'm like, Jesus, 50? that sounds beyond amazing. But yeah, it's the differential there that you go 30 degrees different. And that's why exactly going from, it's like the opposite. So it's weird saying it, but like you going from 50 degrees to 80 degrees, when it's 80, you're like, this is great. I feel so warm. That's literally the equivalent of me going from -5 to 25, right? It's a 30-degree change. And so like when it does boost back up, even though it's 25, most people will be like, it's 25. I'm like, yeah, it's 30 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. And I was used to yesterday's already. So by that point, 30 degrees warmer, game on. Like I'm all for that life. But yeah, no, the weather is there's a lot of things going on in our world right now, and the messed up weather is definitely one of them. I'm not bonkers for weather's honkers, you know, like it's not my thing right now. It's been too extreme. So let's just kind of erase this stuff because this is where the chair is going to go, right? So now we get the idea of where her body is. That was a good transition. I know you were probably mocking me, but I know that was good, and that's all I care about. Okay, thank you. I was like, I try to be pretty good with my weird puns or transitions and stuff like that. But yeah, so today I've got more time for puns and transitions because, like I said, so normally my schedule had been Monday through Friday, which 10:30 to 12:30, and I always went over, always went over, almost always. And the whole point was I wanted to stream every day though. That was my thing. Like I want to get used to being on stream. I want to make it like there was a stigma, you know, like in your head doing a thing, like your head gets like nervous to do a thing. Like literally just clicking go live, your brain kind of has like a little like ooh, like moment, right? But the more you do it with anything, the easier it is, right? And so that's kind of what I wanted to accomplish doing Monday through Friday, you know, right in the morning every time. I want to accomplish a handful of things, but that's one of the goals. And in that though, my timeline of doing other things has been so borked because it doesn't seem like it, but I have to do usually, obviously today was a cluster, but I do like at least a half hour of prep before the stream. And then I close all the software out, set stuff up for the next day a little bit. I boost stuff out to social media. I do a couple things, and then there's a half hour after the stream. And so everything takes some time. And so me getting other stuff done, oh God, has not been happening as much as I wanted because when you're learning something, it's hard, right? Learning something new, you can't just say, I'm going to devote 20 minutes or a half hour to each day. Like you can, I'm not saying you can't. That is definitely a viable thing. But for me to do editing and get cool ideas out for YouTube content and actually like published videos, not just me talking a lot and communicating fun ideas and narrating what I'm drawing or whatever, like actually doing that is a whole other skill set that I'm trying to grow. And so doing that in like, okay, well, I've got a half hour here to work on that or 20 minutes here to work on that because I ended up getting off stream, had lunch, did some dishes, went for a walk, came back, and I had a half hour before I needed to run to the grocery store or this or that. Like, it's hard to learn a skill when you're cramming it in between other things, right? So if I were to cram in drawing into, if I had half hour to draw, I probably would do okay, right? Would I like more time to draw? Yeah, I like to draw. But like, would you get the job done because you at least know what you're doing, right? But like if you're learning a new thing, imagine the mental preparation you have, right? You have to become reacquainted every time you do a thing. And so reacquainting myself with DaVinci Resolve, reacquainting myself with more of the editing, reacquainting myself with like even just mentally wrapping around how I want to form stuff and then narrating things and recording myself. Like these things all are not second nature because they haven't gone through the reps. And so I can't just squeeze in a half hour, right? And so I'm not getting enough done because I need to be like, no, I need a couple hours to sit down and really get better at it. And so the answer to that is not stream art on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because then that way I can actually take Tuesday and Thursday mornings for those 3-ish hours and just devote to doing the stuff that I need to learn to do and get better at, i.e., the video editing and that aspect of everything. And then eventually it can become like drawing, right? Where I can do it in a 30, if I have 30 free minutes, I can do a little bit, right? But right now, I feel like that's with most skills, right? They take like a moment of time before your brain is acclimated to be comfortable to just pick up and do the thing, right? There's always this little bit of self-doubt. There's a little bit of unfamiliarity with the thing you're doing. Sometimes when you're learning a thing, you want to be almost more organized when doing it at first, so you fully grasp it. So even that little bit takes extra effort. There's so many reasons why it can just be a little bit more daunting. So I'm definitely going to try shifting, to committing to actually 3 hours, because I always overdo it anyway, and having the stream be 10:30 to 1:30 Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I'm still getting almost 10 hours of stream time in a week of doing art, but then that gives me ample time in the mornings on Tuesdays and Thursdays to still grow and, get better at what I want to get better at too. And then right now I'll still do some games on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but we'll see. That's the one part of it that I'm not super sold on right now, because that doesn't really build to the bigger picture of what I want in the moment. But there is Orcs Must Die coming out, and I do honestly, it's an excuse for me to play a video game. Like, so I want to play Orcs Must Die, but then even after that, it could be it's my lame excuse to be like, yeah, but I wanted to play Rivals. I didn't get a chance to this week or this weekend, or like I'm not gonna get to Grandmaster not playing. Gotta rank up. Yeah, I don't know why this leg is just throwing me off. Like, the feel of it is just weird. I think it's too long. Maybe that's it. Like this hunk of meat here is a little too much. Need to kind of foreshorten it a little bit, and that'll help the because the fold of the pants keeps looking weird, like the curvature of this piece here. But yeah, so we'll see how the new schedule goes. Hopefully, which is why I brought little bits of chocolate up here, so I can munch on. Because normally, if I eat lunch, I'm going to be eating a lot later now. Yeah, so I did all my research. I had all the video footage and clips and comics and stuff for the video I wanted to do on Malice, the one Marvel Rivals new skin, who's an actual character, obviously. And then I just haven't had time since then, like, to do the actual legwork of making the video. Then I have all the source material and resources to do so, but I don't have anything beyond that. What is going on with this leg, though, man? It still just looks really weird. Oh. So again, as I always talk about, it's digital, so I just warp the hell out of stuff to see it and be like, maybe it looks better if it's like this. Worst thing that happens is you click undo. Oh no. What a terrible, terrible thing. Oh no. My 7 dwarves. Coffee's almost gone. Hey, Russell. How's it going? Nice. We are not too bad, not too bad. Today we're just trying to get a little bit of Mai in. If you know the character, she's from King of Fighters. And she's going to be in Street Fighter next week. And so I'm a Street Fighter nerd. I've got arcade cabinet behind me and fighting game stuff everywhere. So I'm excited for all new Street Fighter stuff always. So wanted to get a little bit of love and attention to doing a picture of her. But since it's Monday, I am rusty and not really feeling being like super creative. And so when that happens and I can't think of a thing I want to draw in particular or can't find a good reference, I got a screen grab. Yeah, the one with the fan thing. Yeah. I mean, it is literally just a fan, I guess. Yeah, I'm sure there's probably a better name for it, but in my mind, it's just a fan. A fan that can light things on fire too, which is of course pretty wild. But no, so I'm just straight up drawing just a quick little thing of from her character select screen from the quick footage Capcom gave us. So I'm not doing anything crazy, no like wild pose, no nothing right now. I'm just being sometimes it's okay to just be lazy, you know what I mean? Because you're still getting the reps in, still practicing, still drawing something cool. But like sometimes trying to force more makes things look worse, right? Like I was about to try and force drawing something more than this, but I was like, why? Why do I need to? Like, I'm just gonna have a nice ease back into the week of drawing and get some stuff like this in. Though I did show off on stream a silly little piece I did over the weekend for it's like a draw this in your own style. So sometimes artists will post different, original characters and stuff like that they want to make like a little fun challenge where people can draw it in their way. And so I always like to hop in on those when I run into them, when I see them. And it was just this little fox girl that I did this weekend then. In between putting away Christmas stuff in the house, which was a lot. We had a lot of Christmas stuff. But yeah, so it's not that I didn't draw this weekend, so it's not like I'm like unbelievably rusty, but rusty enough that I was not feeling like reinventing the wheel. I stayed up way too late playing Marvel Rivals. We were talking about Russell the grind. I know you had said too that like I literally won I think like 7 games total now lately. Like my record, right, is like 7 wins yesterday, and I went up like I went from gold 2 to gold 1. And I'm like, cool, this takes a long friggin' time. Like I just want to get at least in the plat or diamond right now so I can have more. I feel like better competition, I guess, right? Because like when you're playing sometimes at the lower ranks, it's like it's pretty one-sided a lot of the matches. And so I look forward to getting into higher ranks where I'd hope it's a little less like a less of a disparate skill balance, right? Like I feel in bronze and plat and silver and even gold, you get like so much like either your team and you usually carry the hell out of it, It will still be. I'm sure it still will be, but I like to pretend, right? Let me live the fantasy, okay? Don't take this from me. I want to believe that the grass is greener, okay? Don't tell me it's not. But yeah, so I definitely stayed up too late playing Rivals, and realistically, as I'm drawing right now, I was like, man, I wish I was playing some Rivals. Though again, Tuesday I will be playing Orcs, so tomorrow I'll be playing Orcs Must Die, the new one, and we'll definitely be trying out. So it's a brand new, it comes out. Oh, I can see that. Like it's the team's gap rather than just like an individual player. I mean, that logic is sound, but again, I'm gonna live my fantasy right now and just pretend it's gonna be glorious once I get rank back up. Because I didn't put in the time last time either. I think I got to like gold 1 or plat 3 or something, and I just didn't have time in season 0. And so now I'm like, well, if I put in the time, I'll rank up and things will be the greatest. But yeah, Orcs Must Die will be fun. Hopefully. If it's not fun, oh well. But I'll put in a little bit of time on Tuesday. And then probably Thursday if it's, so long as it doesn't suck. I could draw Orcs Must Die stuff too. They're just like, I feel like Orcs Must Die is like, I don't want to say generic because that's doing it a disservice, but like it feels very like what you picture for like fantasy orcs and knights and stuff like that. And it's not a bad thing. I love the art style. I think it looks great. But it's also, I don't feel like it's not like you look at their designs and go, oh my God, that is Orcs Must Die. Like, as a nerd who's played way too much, yes, I do know the characters and I know the enemies, but it is relatively straightforward stuff. Though we had Arafina was in here earlier and she mentioned we've got to pull up on stream, not now still, but it is on the docket to pull up some arcane stuff that we wanted to take a peek at. But I was slow out of the gate today, so I didn't want to take too much time not drawing at first. Yeah, it's the 3D tower defense game where it's like you play in third person too. So like you actually are having more of a direct hand in, so you place, so there's like build phase where you build and then you go to like the actual like attack phase becomes like you keep in the third person and it's like an action game then. Depending on the character too, like some are more melee focused, some are more ranged focused. So like the gameplay even varies depending on the character. But yeah, it's definitely fun. I've played all the old ones, except I mean I didn't play one of them because one of them sucked. But I think they even acknowledged that that one sucked because they tried like a weird free to play route that did not work. But yeah, it's a good time. It's fun learning the mechanics like of how each trap works because they always add new things, new enemies that can dodge certain things or are strong against certain things, and it's just like a oh really? In Germany. So that's weird. They pushed the game in Germany more, you mean? Is it a German? I don't think they're a German company. I loved the third one though, by the way. Like, I don't know if you did end up playing it, but the third one was my favorite in the series. It went 1, 2, and then the technically third installment was the free to play garbage one. And then technically the fourth game was Orcs Must Die 3. And that was arguably my favorite of all of their games, was the third one. But yeah, it is always weird, like living where I live here in the States versus other places, how things are marketed, things are shown off, things are provided in such different ways throughout the world. And it's weird how everything is tailored to the region or things like that. I gotcha. So that was like super sent out to them. I mean, hell, That's what I need to do. I need to get more of this kind of stuff going so they can send me the game. I don't want to buy it for 40 bucks or 30 bucks, whatever, tomorrow. I'm going to. Spoiler alert. But like, I'll take it for free. I was going to play it anyway. Free is my favorite number. Okay, that was too much time on this random chair, just zoning out. But that's kind of what I do. I just zone out and take too much time when I'm on stream drawing simple things. That's like my thing that I do. Is there like some sort of mathematical pun or joke there that I'm missing, or you just genuinely like those numbers? Hit me with the math pun. Okay, so the best number is 73. The best one is 73 because it's the 21 prime number, mirror is 37, and it's the 12 prime number, and it's the product of multiplying 7 and 3. I'm so confused. I came here to draw, not do math. And its binary is 1001001, which is a palindrome in and of itself. Oh, I get it. I see what you're getting at. Because 7 times 3 is 21. Okay, I see it. And then the mirror 37, which is the prime 12, which is multiple. Okay. That's, so it's just, you just mean like, that's not even like a pun. That's just straight up like the most satisfying number in terms of how it is cohesive with itself in a way. Gotcha. That's good. I appreciate that. As someone who likes structure and order, I respect that. Good to know. So if anyone asks, 73, that's the number to beat. Honestly, I feel like, yeah, as kids, we all had like a favorite number, which is silly in retrospect as an adult. Like, what's your favorite number? Like, that makes sense being like a math person or something like that. Like, oh, that is a logical rationality as to why that number is something you enjoy. But for like a kid, you're like, I like this number because it's a number. And I like the number 12. I just thought that was a cool number. I liked it. For some reason, like it just looked cool. And in my mind, like it was two important dates added together for me, and it equaled 12. And so I always like 12. And then when in sports and stuff, I tried to always request the number 12 so I could be repping my lucky number. And still, for some reason, my brain, when you ask, I'm like, yeah, it's 12. 12's the cool guy number. That's awesome that they would Nice hack for that teacher. I like that. You can always, since they love that number so much, there was always at least one. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you went that route, you would still fail. Getting one right out of that many probably is still not a great grade, but funny nonetheless. I had some doozy of professors who were kind of like that too, especially like for undergrad when I went. They're all like doctors and scientists because I went for biology, and like, and it was a school. It was a heavy pre-med track university where like pretty much they had ties with other med schools and stuff for easy like transition from our school elsewhere. Like so they were I feel like the more sometimes the more intelligent the person, the more idiosyncrasies they have that are just kind of like, oh, you're weird, but like that's cool because it's like a smart weird, and I goes that. But if you did all the tasks and don't have time for the last, oh, that's fair. Like if you had one question left and you're like, crap, I just need to put an answer. You just slap down 42 because you know at least there's a percent chance, regardless, that it could be that. That's fair. But yeah, the smarter the people, it will be right or unbelievably wrong. Like it wasn't even a numerical answer. It was some sort of other function entirely. And you're like, well, I look like an idiot. Or it wasn't even a numerical or like some sort of like that. It was actually like it would have been more narrative based. Like you had to write out words for something. Okay. So I've been mindlessly just drawing this stupid chair just because I didn't, like I said, today's been, wasn't super draw mode. So I'm just sitting here being like, yeah, let's just draw this chair and zone out and talk about prime numbers. That was a little too forced of perspective there, like too extreme. I did put it in my clock. I said 12:40-ish. I'll look at the arcane thing, so I need to keep that in mind. This chair looks really stubby. I made these legs really short. Oh man, this is what happens when I'm just zoning out, man. Holy cow. These little stubby legs. Can I actually be really lazy? Hold on. Let's try like the ultimate lazy approach. Okay, let's watch this. Whoop. Nope, too big. Super lazy here. Let's make it happen. And then stretched. Super duper lazy. Yeah, League of Legends Arcane. Arafina, she was in here earlier and she mentioned, because I was talking about needing to get better at drawing like attractive, like stylized, really attractive women and stuff. Because I feel like I have been raised, again, I went with biology. I did all my figure drawing classes. I always like look at anatomy much more like black and white kind of. And so like stylizing for like extreme female anatomy is not something I do very well. But then they brought up the idea of lots of attractive women in Arcane, and I had said that like we just got on a whole tangent then on Arcane and how they do a good job of being, obviously they have their own unique style, but also like they're not like this, right? It's not My Shiranui where they're just like trying to sell sex. They're trying to sell strong characters, right? And we talked about like the overall style of it. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a weird one because that's what we talked about. That like League kind of sells more sexiness, right? Whereas Arcane did a good job of balancing it, and so that's what she was saying. That apparently the original like design pitch that the studio did for Arcane was not quite as gritty and had more of the original like League of Legends energy. So I definitely wanted to take a peek at that and see what that looked like the original idea. Though I can't watch the apparent documentary that she referenced as well because I am still on the finale of season 1 because I do not watch enough television. I'm the worst. Yeah, like their splash art and just overall, yeah, the imagery for League of Legends, regardless of how you're interpreting it, is just some of the prettiest. Like I tried when I was in college, I played was it Dota? Legends of Runeterra, I've seen like when I do my art station. So in the beginning of all of my streams, I cruise through art station and look at really cool pieces that I find on there and just, analyze them, talk about them, appreciate them, put some love on there for the artists who make that stuff. And I have found a lot of things for the Legends of Runeterra. So that makes sense. There's some cool stuff there. For sure. Oh gosh. But yeah, I tried back in the day, like way, way, way back in the day, like I said, like there's plenty of games, unfortunately, yeah, that are money eaters and it shows. Which again, completely side railing and bringing back Marvel Rivals because I can't stop like singing its praises. That game on paper, it's from NetEase, right? And if anybody doesn't know, NetEase has been pretty notorious for cash grabbing, right? Like I think it's a Korean company or whatever, and they do like a lot of like mobile-y things, cash grabby things that are just like not bad things per se, but like the vibe is very cash grabby. And I was so worried with Marvel Rivals then that that's what this was going to be, but like I feel like they are cash grabby in the sense of they know what they've got, and I'm sure all the things they're doing are selling so well, but they convey it to us, the player, as a good thing and not a cash grabby thing. And I think that is a hard, like, I mean, it's the reality of the beast, right? Like, you need to sell stuff, right? I'm not an idiot. Like, that's how the world works. I've worked in games. I've got all my buddies who work in games. Like, you can't always just make things because it's cool. It's got to make money at the end of the day. But I feel like NetEase are doing a good job at the moment, at least. Who knows when things, things can always change. But like right now, it feels like they're doing right by the players. And I think that's something that goes a long way in today's world where like you don't feel like you as the consumer or the target of whatever it is, you don't feel like you're being that. You don't feel like you're being a target. You feel like you're being made for rather than like trying to exploit, right? And so any game that doesn't feel like they're trying to exploit you as the consumer, it feels good, right? And I feel like I always want to support. I have no idea, by the way. I just freeballed this random foot. I don't even know what I'm doing. But I'm always much more attuned and inclined to support a company like that than anything else. Like Rivals of Aether, for example, like that game is a Smash clone, kind of, if you will. Not really a clone. That does it a disservice by being so blunt with the name, the generalization. But like, it's an arena or a platform fighter like that, and they do great. They've been in the community a long time. Dan Fernacey has run tournaments here in the Midwest with the fighting game community. Like, they love the stuff. And so I honestly didn't really plan on like committing to play the game all that much because I know it's not my type of thing. Like, I like Street Fighter. I like Marvel versus Capcom, like tag fighters. I'm gonna probably play way too much 2XKO. Like, I like that stuff. I'm not an arena or a platform fighter, but I wanted to support it, right? So I bought the game. I threw in, some microcurrency purchase. I played it for the first couple weeks. I actually did apply for an art job they had there. Did not get it. Spoiler alert. But like, those kind of things should go rewarded in today's world. Like, we should be making sure we reward these companies that don't feel like they're trying to exploit us, and instead they're just trying to make a cool thing, and they want to really have fun with it so that you can also have fun with it, right? So looking at this foot, the perspective doesn't really make sense. I have it like turning way more than it probably would be. So what I'll do is I had like all the toes visible. Pretty sure based off of this angle, you would not be able to see quite as much as my design was letting off. So let's just kind of like hide the rest of the toes like that. Boop. Good enough-ish. I am excited today. It said 40 degrees, I think. Again, for Midwest, 40 degrees sounds fantastic. Ooh, I went to go look. I've got missed voicemail, all these things. Whoopsies. Goodbye. Oh, it's medical insurance stuff. Fun. I'm pretty sure that's the voicemail I missed. Fun stuff. Everybody loves insurance, right? Talk about something that feels like it's trying to exploit rather than actually help. Yikes. Well, if you're in Germany, I actually don't know how the medical system is there. Does it? Okay, yeah. Pretty exploity here in the US as well. Who knew just trying to be alive would cost money and be so difficult? How dare you want to live without pain and difficulties? So sorry. Right? How dare I decide to be both alive and poor? Like, that's on me. That's my fault. I'm the fool, right? I shouldn't have been. What a fool I am. Okay, so is your go I guess so you mean it's fine. I read it fits in Germany. It's fine in Germany. That's nice. At least, yeah, everything in Europe and not America seems pretty they seem a little more understanding of that, unlike what Stumpenstein noted, how dare you be alive and poor? Like, being alive doesn't have a bearing on value in other places. It's just simply, hey, you're alive. You deserve to be alive. Whereas in America, it's like, yeah, but you got that money. Otherwise, that's too damn bad. Which is the life I live. Especially with all of my ailments. Oh, I chose it, all right. I mean, I did go to school for art, so I suppose I did choose it to an extent, right? I could have, instead of going to med school, I did go to get my master's in animation, so I suppose there was some sort of choice to be poor there. Oh yeah, that's pretty normal. Like, yeah, you're probably talking about the one with the whole Luigi Mangione stuff and all that. Not to get into all of what that entails, but basically, like, yeah, it's bonkers the amount of denials. And the thing is, it's not easy in the U.S. to even get some insurance. Like, they act like it's so easy. Like, oh, whatever, it's denied, blah blah. But like, even just getting the insurance is a pain in the butt. Like, so then to get the insurance is a pain, and then to even go through the hassle of getting approved for the things, and then they still deny it. And that company alone, in particular, the one that you were reading with the 60%, employed uh, an AI system that would basically almost auto deny claims based on other things, other variables, which is in the United States illegal to do, but that doesn't stop major corporations like that from doing it. And it's just, yeah, it is that I I'm not even reading that one out loud, Stump and Steal. Oh my gosh, that is a uh, that's very real comparison of what happened, but holy cow, that's rough. Oh, they did though. They did. But yeah, it is disgusting. Like, oh my gosh, that sounds great. Paying for your insurance halfway and then you just got to meet the other half, like, and that's just the way it is. Like, yes, in some companies here in the United States, they'll pay for all of it, or some will pay for none, or some will pay for portions. But like, all insurance is not created equal. And even if you get insurance, it's usually kind of garbage and they'll deny stuff and blah, 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 blah. I was saying earlier that like, people employ. Oh, even rent, you get rent adjusted for working for the government, not only just insurance. That's wild. In America, they're just like, hey, we don't really care if you have a home, just be sure you work. Yeah, that is true. Something that they will. We've had that happen before, where they'll hold it over your head too, as like a, hey, we're covering it, but like they act like they're doing you a favor. Then almost like that's like a marketing tool for them to be like, hey, but remember we cover some of your insurance, and it's like that should just be a thing. That shouldn't be a thing that you should. It's like when people are nice, right? And someone does something nice and you notice it because the normal is not nice, right? And it's like that shouldn't be celebrated. People should just be nice. You should just do the right thing because you you should do the right thing. It's called pension then instead of rent. That's nice. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. My family is actually looking at by looking at, I mean they're actively in the process of getting dual citizenship so they can actually possibly move to the European Union. Specifically, Lithuania is where my family has descendants, and they fled during the war, so we can get dual citizenship, but it's a couple grand to get that process going and to get it, done. But then my family will have dual citizenship, so if they need to or want to move out of the United States, they can reside anywhere within the EU, obviously except for Britain because of Brexit, but everywhere else they can go, which is cool for them. But like, I don't know, I don't feel like spending $2,000 on a backup plan right now. Like, if you look behind me, there's things everywhere, and if you saw the whole house, there's like the idea of moving out of this country to another country seems like nigh unfathomable for me, just because how much stuff my girlfriend and I own. We own so many things. We have like our walls, you see the gallery wall behind me, that's just a glimpse of what like the whole house is, right? I've got art on every wall, like a poop ton of art, like a metric poop ton. Every wall, we've got figures and statues and things. We've got, I mean, I've got that, but my girlfriend, even just from her perspective, like the amount of clothes and stuff like that, like the idea of moving from a country to another, I can't even, that seems, I mean, a lot of the people here in the US also think that same thing, Panda, unfortunately. But again, that's again why my mom and stuff wants to get like a backup, because it takes a year and a half to get all of the paperwork done and everything for this dual citizenship. So it's not like it's like a quick thing anyway. So she's just really antsy to at least get the ball rolling. But again, I'm a little more averse to it just because I don't necessarily have the funds to drop a lot of money on just a like, hey, just in case we need to leave. And I can't even fathom leaving. Like, storage is expensive, Arafina. Have you? Because I know when I moved here back to Chicago, um, I got a storage unit, and the first time, one of the first days at the storage unit, I had a woman next to me. It's a little older woman, and she was like moving, and I was like, "Oh, are you like I'm a talkative person, right? I'm just gonna talk." And we got in conversation, and she basically told me she was moving her storage unit to a different storage unit. Like literally just moving one unit to a different unit, because she said the way that the systems work, and I looked into it then after she said that, and I experienced it myself. The way the systems work, at least here in the US with storage, they just go up every few months. Like that's not like, maybe if you have a small private company, maybe they don't, but like any major like chain of storage companies, they just raise the price like every 6 months. The price just goes up, just straight up goes up. And so that woman had been there for, I think it was like a year and a half, and she's had her price go up 3 different times. And so it was cheaper for her to sign up. And that's what she did. She regularly, every year or so, would sign up for a new storage unit, because she'd get new rates from scratch, and you'd get like the introductory bonus deal, and you would end up spending way less by the time. So it would go up almost a multiple of like 20%. Like it wasn't a small value. It would like, it wasn't like, oh, the price of the storage went up like 5% or, some sort of small difference. Like, no, if I was spending 100, then in 6 months, I was spending 120 for the same unit. And then another 6 months, I was then spending 145 or whatever it might have been. And then after that, it was like 170. And like, so after a couple years, you're already paying double what the original cost even was, which is absurd. And so it makes sense that someone would say, F it, I'll just get a new one each, few years and do that. But like, can't do that if you're not even in the country. How am I going to do that? I'm just going to get the price jacked up, up and up, up and up. And I'll just be like, well, I guess this is my life. I'm spending however much on storage. Which, yeah, it's just everything is difficult right now here in the US for many, many reasons. Not that it's not difficult other places. Like, obviously, there's places that have it even worse, and I'm not being like, woe is me, but, all of our own problems exist within our own realm, right? Like, we only have the mental capacity, really, to deal with the problems that we have in front of us. It's there's so many things with the world, you can't internalize all the problems, but for me and our struggles, there's been just quite a bit. I mean, mental health is a thing. That is definitely a factor in all of that then. I mean, again, I'm trying really hard just thinking of that. Like, I don't know, Russell, what you've got over there, but like we've been using, at least me and my friends and stuff, like we've stopped using Twitter entirely because of the implication and all of the different things that Elon Musk has been doing whatever. But so moving over to Blue Sky, I enjoy Blue Sky. It's pretty nice, but it's also like I've stopped using Instagram. I've stopped using Twitter. I don't really use Facebook. Yeah, I never really used Twitter that much, but as an artist, it's definitely one of those things. It's hard. You kind of have to have a social media presence as an artist, like if you want to get any sort of traction. And so I've been trying to do Blue Sky, and I'm like trying to like shill it like whenever I get a chance, but like there's like I think I got like 40 followers on that. And like but realistically, I have like 40 followers on Blue Sky. I get more engagement out of Blue Sky than I do on Instagram, where I've got about 1,000. Yeah, no, the fact you can say I'm pro free speech, but then literally do the exact opposite whenever you're given the opportunity is pretty telling. So more or less depressing things right now. Just working on this foot. I was just trying to, um, even the peel. Yeah, I saw that too. Like it's just ridiculous. But yeah, no, just drawing the foot right now. Again, I've found being on stream, I get like less productive in a way too because I'm just gabbing, um, which is kind of how I was at my last studio. Just some days you just end up talking a little more than working, but that's okay. Which, oof, there is on a more positive note. You know what? Yeah, let's go that route. Let's go that route. That was depressing talk, right? Not that it's not talk that shouldn't be had because it's the world around us and it's affects all of us. But let's do a funny story time, okay? I'm gonna stop drawing for this one because this one hit me and I reveled in it. Okay. I love comic books, right? I love Ninja Turtles. I said I'm gonna stop drawing, but then I'm not. I'm an idiot because I just want to still get more done. I love comic books, love Ninja Turtles. I love anime with my old school stuff, right? So there's the Naruto and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book crossover happening. The first issue came out a little bit before the end of November. So a little ways ago. And there was the second issue was supposed to come out late December, but it was pushed back. And so my girlfriend and I, not this weekend, but the weekend before, it was supposed to come out that Wednesday, the 15th. I had it in my calendar. Second issue, Wednesday the 15th. I've got Absolute Batman and The Moon is Following Us. Those are like the only other comics I'm like actively getting in a current print run right now. And then they're doing like Disney, Marvel, like what ifs of like what if Minnie Mouse was Miss Marvel and stuff like that. And my girlfriend and I enjoy reading those because they're just silly. But the Ninja Turtle one was like the focus, right? I love it's Naruto and Ninja Turtles. We've got anime, we've got Ninja Turtles, beautiful crossover. The art is some of the best stuff ever. I've probably talked about the comic already on stream at one point because I love it. And so issue 2 had in my calendar January 15th. January 15th. Is that a comic? Dr. Van Doom? I can't see my keyboard. Don't mind me. Oh, Dr. Van Doom. No, I'm an idiot. Yes. That's what I thought at first, but my brain was like, yeah. I love Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom's dope. He was in Fortnite, and I love the Doctor Doom skin. I made a disco Doom because he had like a sparkly edit style. with the big disco ball I put on and all that. I'm looking forward to seeing him in Rivals, actually, hopefully. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's definitely a main player in Rivals. We just don't have him yet. I'm assuming we'll get a villain season in Marvel Rivals soonish. But anyway, finishing the story. So I wanted to go get that comic on Wednesday, not this past Wednesday, but the one before. But that's when here in Chicago, it was like -20, like unbelievably cold temperatures where like you step outside and your body just hurts, both outside and inside. It just gets so cold. And so I was like, I'll go that weekend, right? Absolutely, we'll go that weekend. My girlfriend and I made it like a trip to head out to that one comic shop. It's like 20 minutes from us, and it's like, unless we're making like a thing of it, it's not really buy anything else, right? It's just kind of close enough, but not anywhere near other things we usually like double up on. So we made a whole thing to be like, okay, we'll go. It's called Graham Cracker Comics. We'll go, we'll pick up the new Ninja Turtle, and we'll be good. We go, and I grab a couple, I grab the other things I wanted to get to. I got the new Absolute Batman. The Moon is Following Us. It was the 5th issue. They had, actually, speaking of, as you said, with after Fantastic Four, because obviously Doom's the main villain in the Fantastic Four story, they had what if like the Disney characters were the Fantastic Four, so we got that. And I go to the Ninja Turtles, nowhere. It's not there. Not at all. And normally they have like, they put on a little placard like on the shelf, they'll say new this week for all the new issues that week. And it's an easy way to gauge for your stupid lizard brain eye. Just be like, oh cool, there's the new issue, right? Nothing, nowhere. And I was like, are you kidding me? That's literally why we came. Like, the other things were secondary, right? And I look online, I was like, I had it in my calendar. I swore it was the 15th. That's the day it comes out. I look online, my girlfriend gives me crap right away. She looks at me and she goes, we came here for this? Keep in mind, she loves the comic book shop too. Like, we have fun. It's not like she doesn't enjoy going there too. But naturally, she's going to give me flack. And she's like, this is it? I thought you knew what you're talking about. And I was like, no, it was supposed to come out a couple days ago because we went on the weekend, right? I was like, it was supposed to be a few days ago. And I looked it up online. Everything said, I'm terrible with dates. So it was supposed to be the 15th. Everything said, oh yeah, it comes out the 22nd. January 22nd. Everywhere I looked online. And my girlfriend just started laughing. Just laughing at my face. Like, that I'm an idiot. Like, making fun of me and giving me so much shit. We literally left, bought the couple things we wanted to get. It's like a 15-20 minute drive home. She poked fun at me the whole ride home. And then the rest of the night, like 3 or 4 little jabs throughout the entire night, poking fun at me about how I don't even know comics, right? The house is filled with comic books. You don't even know comics. Do you even know Ninja Turtles? Like, all these things. Like, you see there's Ninja Turtles behind me. There's like, oh my God, she gave me so much flack. And lovingly and playfully. Obviously, it wasn't like a malicious thing, but like, she was riding that, like, when you get a way to make fun of somebody and you just lean into it. She leaned into it hard all day. So fast forward to this past weekend, I was like, okay, well, clearly it said the 22nd. So we'll go this weekend. We were going to visit my grandma. And so I was like, oh, we can go to the other comic shop. It's a chain. We'll go to the other one kind of on the way to my grandmother's house instead. Perfect. And so we stopped there, we go. I was about to get distracted and get some other stuff, but we had a schedule to go to my grandma and visit. And obviously they had issue 2. We grabbed one base comic, like the standard cover for us to read, and then we gift it to my girlfriend's brother, and he then has it, and then I get my own variant cover, whichever one I like the most, and then my best friend down in Florida also is the coolest and got me the full run of an exclusive cover set that they have from an artist down there. So I'll end up having 2 different variants, one a full panel variant. I'm so stoked for that. But anyway, we go up to the cash register, and again, just chatting, you know me, just talking to people, having a conversation, just chilling with the dude at the cash register. That's not like our normal store, so I don't really know this guy that well. Like, I know my comic book guys, you know, like at my old shop. But so just talking, making small talk, and I mentioned, I was like, yeah, we came down to the other location last week, and I told him the whole story, right? Told him the whole story, and he goes, yeah, it's wild that they delayed it a week. And I was like, wait, excuse me? He's like, oh yeah, it was supposed to come out on the 15th, but there was an issue and they pushed it back a week. I turned around and I looked at my girlfriend, and her face was like that, like, don't even look at me right now. She was doing one of these, like, she could not. And I told the guy the whole story, how she had given me crap the whole time about that. And I was like, huh, who knew their comics? Who knows their Ninja Turtles? And I couldn't be happier. Like, I was like a little kid who you just said, hey, buy whatever you want at this toy store, right? Like, I was just over the moon. So, oh man, I cannot express the amount of joy I had that I was right. I did know it got delayed because I knew it was supposed to come out on the 15th. I knew it was the 15th. I wasn't wrong, because he said it got delayed the day before it came out then. That it must have been like, maybe because of the cold, maybe because whatever weather issues, because there's so much going on in the US with the weather, that it got delayed a week from being sent out. And it was notified the day before. You're a hater, Stumpenstein, all right? It was me. I knew it. Don't let me. You're not taking this victory from me, all right? I reveled in it, and then I got to be the one all weekend to make little jabs how I was right, and it couldn't have been more glorious. All that said, I still haven't read the comic yet. It's sitting on the coffee table, like on one of our end tables next to the recliner in the living room. We didn't end up getting a chance to read it yet. I'm not dumb after all. Wow. Yeah, you can't send gifts in Twitch chat, but I appreciate you explicitly telling me which gif you sent in my head. But yeah, so I know it is. I mean, can you imagine Twitch chat with gifs though? That would be, oh my god, I can't even. Like, those like 1 million subscriber Twitch people, like, even when they put it on like subscriber only, and you've got like, yeah, exactly, someone seen, it would just be, I can't even, my brain would break trying to see and even track any of that nonsense that would be happening. And there's no way to like moderate that kind of stuff. That would be a lot to take in. That said, I do want to make fun little things for here on Twitch, like my own, make, you know, the little reacts and stuff like that, but that's an eventuality, hopefully not necessarily high on the list right now of priorities of things I want to get done, but it's definitely on the list to do at least a couple custom emojis. I have no idea when they added Pokemon. I haven't even, like, I'm not one to usually use them, like, whenever I'm on Twitch. I don't, like, as a viewer, I'm not one to hit too many of those, but so I actually don't even know what exists and what doesn't exist, to be honest. So looking at this drawing, it makes me really confused because I put these like wood boards in, but my brain, like if we zoom out, that just looks like a bunch of like lines right now. And my brain was trying to remember which one. I'm going to quickly do this so my brain can understand which one was the actual like side panel that we're seeing versus the negative space versus the board. So these are the side panels. And so this is the negative space between the boards. Okay. This, when you're drawing really messy things, it can kind of mess with your brain as to what you're even looking at, which is precisely what happened here. We'll just kind of like allude to some sort of material back here. What did I miss? And a weird kraken. And of course, Arafina, you've got your League of Legends, or Arcane, sorry, more specifically. Yeah, you don't play fighting games, I don't think, Arafina, but are you going to play 2XKO then? It's free. It's going to be free when it comes out. It's a fighting game. But you know, it's got all them league goodies. I'm sure that's the beauty of free games, right? Like you don't have to put anything in other than your time. It's not like, I feel like years ago, at least here in the States, I guess, I don't know how bandwidth policies are and stuff, like, but I pay for unlimited downloads and I've got crazy amount of stuff. So like, I don't have to worry about downloading stuff. I do my thing. I don't got to worry about it. So like a free to play game is a zero commitment sum, essentially. Like you just do your thing. You try it. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. No harm, no foul. Her leg still looks weird to me for some reason. I don't understand why I made it look so weird. I'm like no longer even looking at the reference anymore. I'm just like drawing whatever I've already drawn and trying to fix that now. But I wonder if it's like the arc of this curve is just feeling like it's not following. So like if we look at this leg, right, it should be kind of like, right, just trying to draw like perspective so I can kind of maybe see how it's receding. And maybe that will, yeah, that looks like it conforms to the pant leg a little better now, right? With the pant leg doing this little number. It's still just a weird angle. Ooh, unlimited fiber internet. Oh, I remember back when I lived in Minnesota and we had fiber internet. That was the greatest thing ever. Though I will say, I've got like the max plan here for Comcast in the area, like the literal max plan you can pay for. And knock on wood, like I haven't really run into major issues. Like at least two, you know what I mean? Like my connection's usually pretty great. Never ran into too much, but yeah, I'm sure getting a nice boost like that feels great. Especially since literally everything we do nowadays is tied to the internet in some capacity, whether you realize it or not. Even I feel like it's like, yep, that's on the internet. That's all the good old World Wide Web. So the foot was just looking weird. So I'm going to zoom out and quickly shape the foot a little bit. Again, just using warping and liquefy type stuff all the time because it's easy and efficient. But again, it was one of those things where looking at this foot, we've talked about negative space before where it's kind of weird. You don't want the negatives, like, I don't want this to be too tangenty. I don't want it to intersect and like make other points not look good. So when it's a place of particular busyness, figuring out how to make something fit by making it also not be messy and, you know, compete with the other lines in the places. Like right now I'm trying to make it fit in this, but I think that looks weird. Like fit in the calf area of the shape behind. Okay, I don't really know what Mai's face looks like too much. He's just like very generic, big eye, thin eyebrows, big lips, right? And then butt. That was for research, by the way. It really was. I could not, in the beginning of the stream, I didn't understand how the design worked. And it's different in each iteration that I've seen the character, how like things coalesce in her back. Because like right here, this is just like a back flap, kind of like the old Kunoichi outfits, right? Surely. It's for science. But then like this is a giant bow, and this looks like a tail coming out. But then the Street Fighter one, do we have this one? This looks like hair, right? This material looks like some sort of cloth. And so I didn't really know how it worked, but this way it shows it's basically like the back of her shirt folds into the belt and is like excess material, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. It wasn't really a problem because we're drawing. See, like this. This doesn't, even looking at this, where does this come from? I guess this is really little to see. Like, it's still really little. It doesn't zoom in much. I don't feel like saving it. But like this, it's just a tail that comes out of nothing. I don't understand it. I don't know. So draw generic, pretty face, basically. We'll block in some shape for the face, and then we'll peep that arcane stuff. Might not watch the whole thing if it's longer, but like at least just get a vibe. So I like to usually slap an ear in. I know that seems weird, but like I look at like where the landmarks are. I always like kind of throwing in an ear to understand the orientation of the head a little bit better. Because if we see that ear, I want to see like just the glimpse of another ear here. And I feel like that helps me understand like where the head is in space. And I said I wanted to make this one actually like she's resting her chin on her wrist. So it's like a little bit more contact rather than the reference image was her just kind of gazing without any physical contact with her arm there. But that's again just kind of blocking in an idea, nothing too crazy. Just get the block in so I can say we got it, and then can go peep some YouTube for a sec. Though it is, like I said, it's past my normal time of streaming that I should be. So I brought my little, can't really see it, like I said, my Dove dark chocolates. Like it comes from it, but it still just doesn't make sense to me. Like, because especially each iteration looks like it comes from something a little different. And also, what's the logic? What does that help? I would trip over that, right? If I'm kicking and flipping and throwing fans and turning into fire, I'd trip. That was perfect timing for me to drop my pencil even. To be like, I'm clumsy. But that's because of stupid board. True, the Firefox is the visual language they're trying to kind of compare her with. So it is like a foxtail, for sure. But as a person of like detail, my brain just goes, yeah, but how? And I think that comes from the 3D part, right? So For those that don't know, I actually have my background is more in 3D. And so I've been a 3D artist for years and stuff. And so when you're doing 3D work, you need to understand the whole picture, right? You can't just look at it and say, this looks good in 2D, because your job is interpreting what you see in 2D. So my brain looks at designs and goes, okay, but how did you solve that? How did you make it? What does it connect to? Why does it exist this way? Because that's what my job was for many, many years, was solving that issue. Like, how do you make that? And so I think that's where my more analytical part comes in. So her face looks weird. It's not wide enough. Again, thank goodness for digital art that I can just budget. And now that shape looks better to me. Kind of like alluding to the back of the head. Drawing too much of the back of the head is usually not that attractive. So like if the ear breaks the bounds and then the hair just kind of pops out from the side, kind of like the reference does too. I always think that looks better. And like I said, with tangents, it looks less messy then. Like maybe you can, oh goodness. Then you can do flyaways, right? If you throw an ear here, you can always do like little flyaways coming out because she's got like that. And we can always play with that later when we draw the hair. But like, since it's a looser bun or whatever, or looser pony maybe, since it's more casual. Mm-mm. She's got like the big bangs. The back of the head is a weird shape in general. Yeah, like people always think of like the shape of the head when they're drawing a head, right? As like, you're like, oh yeah, the head's a circle. And it's like the head is not a circle. The head, if you're looking at it from the side, is two ovals. Like you've got an oval here and an oval here. Like we are weird shaped individuals, because then the face comes down this way and then we cut up into the shape of the jaw, right? And the back of the skull comes in that way. And it's like there's a whole other bulbous shape beyond that. Whereas like if you look at a lot of, people try and be like, look, it's a circle. It's like the head is not a circle. The head's a weird lumpy mess. Because then so many people have like, sometimes you've got more of like a dome in the back. Sometimes you've got more of the big, thicker, I think the dome sticks out more in the forehead. Sometimes you've got, circle with the triangle more. Yeah, like the circle with more of like a triangle for sure is the shape. That's a good way of breaking it down too. I've never looked at it that way, but it definitely does come across that way too, as a circle with a triangle. I really like that actually. I've never looked at it that way. I like it. But anyway, get rid of all that. But yes. Moral of the story, heads are weird. And they're not as like straightforward as your like the brain interprets them, I feel like at first glance, to be like, yes, we look at the eyes, we look at the face, and then our brain just goes, and then there's hair on top. So you think of like the roundness that I mean, mine's more of a big old block. I feel like I have a square face, but like the same idea. Oh, just trying to see like what it would look like if like some of her hair over here is kind of just flowing over the arm. Because we've talked about before too, where like sometimes it's nice to sell the shape of a thing. Like, so we're not gonna like explicitly sell how her arm is round here, but if her hair falls in such a way that it curves down, that helps sell without us needing to sell it, right? That it is a round shape. We don't have to make the thing round, we need to make the things touching it round. I'm assuming even in this casual wear, it's just like a giant. We'll just say it's a giant ponytail. That's fine. Again, why is it flowing in the wind? Don't ask me. Does it look better that way? Yeah. It's a windy room she's in with this chair. I don't know. It's like when things in space even like have wind and it's like, well, scientifically the wind, like, your hair would not be flowing the way movies showcase like flowing hair or capes and stuff like that in the void of space. But, it looks cool. Or sound, like how technically like pew 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 you hear like the lasers and stuff in Star Wars, but like, well, I mean, the way sound works in space, you can't really hear that way, but it's okay. We just suspend disbelief for things to look and feel cool. In Dungeons and Dragons, there's a cape that you can always have billow like there's wind. That is fantastic, and I love that. I would love to have. I would love a piece of material that does that, and I appreciate the lean into the goofiness of the idea of that. Leave it to D&D to always seem to have the best meta grasp on the world around us. Like, good stuff, good stuff. I like it. Get a pop-up, download the Epic Game Store for mobile. The ships just make the sounds to the pilot's 5-head because they just have an innate understanding. Maybe that's the lore behind it. So her arm just felt kind of weird now as I'm drawing like the head, but now that arm still feels kind of weird. I think I have a problem because I want to make everybody beefy, and that's what I said. Like, they don't. Everyone doesn't have to be beefy, but I like them. I like drawing beefy characters. I like them strong. So is she happy or is she sad? And she's just kind of chilling. She's just kind of chilling, right? It's just kind of like the neutral. Not a smile, not a frown. Give her a big old mouth. We'll probably shrink that down. Again, I don't know. I got a problem. I love drawing big, strong things. So the Popeye physique is my favorite physique. And you know what I eat 90% of the time? Spinach. That's what I eat. That's what I was raised on knowing spinach makes you strong. Bread makes you fat, as Scott Pilgrim taught us. And spinach makes you strong, like Popeye taught us. So my diet has spinach, like a metric poop ton of spinach. My salads are like humongous things at night of just spinach and chicken and veggies and fruit. Bread in the US is shit. I gave my players a magic wand that can be used to start a fire. It's just a it's just a stick. That's good. But hey man, it's just a normal stick. That's true though. It's lore accurate. Stick can start fire. Smokey the Bear taught us that many, many moons ago here. Okay, I'm getting distracted, and this isn't even looking the way I really care right now. She's gotten way too broad-shouldered and weird and beefy looking. God damn. I've got a problem. Again, I think next this week, maybe what I'll do, maybe that's my plan for this week. Maybe Wednesday, I'm going to just draw. So I showed earlier, I don't know if I showed too much, but like I'll do a lot of times just different bodies. I'll just do body studies all over. Like, was there a lot here? I actually don't remember. A ton of just different figures, right? I just draw figures, draw hands, draw all these different things, right? I draw so many little random things. I need to do that with stylized women, right? Just do that and make them look, you know, sexier. I don't know, man. I made her beefy. I made her real beefy. Either way, let's move this aside and let's peep the League of Legends thing real quick, because it is getting late anyway. Because I said 1:30 is my new timeline, and it is 1:12, so that's about as good a time as any. So let's scroll up in chat to see what it was called. Arofina said it was. Oh no, you can't scroll that high up. Crap. Let's see. Arcane. Oh, I can't see my keyboard. Design documentary. She said there was a whole series, but I cannot remember. Was this like, this is from League, an animation test. So let's see if there's something here. Bridging the Rift was, I thought what she said was the little series. That's part 1. So I'm sure that's longer. Can't scroll up in chat, darn it. It only goes so far. Yeah, Bridging the Rift is again the part 1. There's a lot of Arcane stuff. Well, here, let's see what's going on here anyway then. So this is an early animation test. Get out of here. That okay. This looks more akin to what it ended up being though, so I wonder if this is what she was talking about. I mean, we can see, like, this is very bright. Like, that's my first thought. Even in the town here, obviously, it's always bright, but, like... Okay, yeah, the energy of this seems... I can see the difference, because this feels more akin to, like, the League of Legends. Like, not exactly like the trailer things that they do, the animated ones, but this is much more bright. The colors are more playful, I guess. Whereas it definitely, and even the movement here seems like they are more stretchy, if you will. You know, they push and pull, like, if you notice when she, like, slammed down there, like, her proportions are longer, like, right there. I don't know how to do frame by frame on YouTube. It's not that. Whatever button I just hit, it's not that button. But, like, you can see how her body, like, totally distorts during this pull through. Oh, it's comma? That's it? I can't see my... Okay, comma. Thank you. But, like, you can see the squash and stretch with her body here. Like, look at that stretch. That's a comma and period. Yeah, thank you. I guess I need to move my head. Hold on. I'm looking too much in the middle. Let's go to this one. Like, I feel like Arcane... Obviously, there's squash and stretch and all that, but this is much more extreme even. Like, if we look how much she reels back. So they're really... I feel like the initial one, yeah, feels much more cartoony. And these proportions even. Look how lanky she looks. And again, her hair is like bright pink. All these effects and everything have such like a nice, clean... Like you said, Arafina, like a League of Legends energy. Much more... traditional energy than what they ended up leaning into, of much more of the darker, grittier. I wouldn't say it's realistic by any means, but they have it feels more grounded, I guess, for sure. The final product. This is still dope though. Like I'm sure that's why Riot saw their work with this and like, okay, well, they know what the hell they're doing. Either way, we can finesse this. Her face has changed, but I like that the energy hasn't changed too much. This is like a revelation to me that I can hit comma and period, though. I've never really done this before. I appreciate it on YouTube to scrub through more precisely. Yeah, that's wild. So like then if we look at, let's just pull up. Man, I really need a better layout here for my keyboard and stuff because I can't see anything. I'm typing blind. It is cool just like seeing that, like, obviously this is a specific shot, a much grittier shot, but like, yeah, definitely, like, even just like the overall like grunge of the characters and stuff like that, much darker, much, a little bit less stretchy, a little more real. Yeah, this is dope. I love seeing this kind of stuff, seeing the transitions of what was and what became. All right, all right. I know I said it a while ago. I'll watch the finale. I promise. Maybe. No promises. I take it back. I don't promise shit. You didn't get anything out of me, but I'll hopefully watch the finale. Oh, they did the KDA music video. I loved that. Yeah, that was dope. Here, let me move this stupid iPad so I can see the keyboard for a second. Yeah, let's pull that up. That was one of my favorites. I loved that. It like, whew. This is on my, like, one of my gym playlists. One of my go-to, like, I don't have a lot of like K-pop or any of this stuff, but oh, I'm gonna get, I forgot, since this goes on YouTube though, I can't have music playing. I forgot about that. Almost got bamboozled there. Yeah, you can totally feel, I can see that now, how it transitioned. That's cool to know that they actually worked on early League stuff. I did not know that. Like early League, like non-League stuff, like, because they're oh no, it's definitely separated, but so the way I have my stuff separated for stream and I have a music. So like the music on Spotify all goes, like, this stuff goes directly to my fourth channel, and the fourth channel doesn't get sent to the VODs. But since I am doing this to YouTube as well too, I do dual stream or multi-streaming. That gets the VOD channel, but the VOD channel does get browser, which is what this would be since I'm watching it on here. If I opened it up in Spotify, it would be fine to hear, but unfortunately, since I'm in the browser, because in the browser I watch, like, you know, the Rivals trailers and stuff like that I want to have audio to on stream, but unfortunately I can't. Those 2 seconds, I'm gonna get demonetized because they heard. I mean, it is a pretty iconic first couple lines. What is this one? This is a different one now. I don't even remember this music video. I don't know. I like this one more. We're going. Oh man, yeah. The new Noxus trailer is amazing, but watch after. Okay. So there's a new trailer that I shouldn't watch quite yet. I get it. I gotcha. But yeah, this stuff is so clean. Yeah, I kind of guessed you meant career page. I didn't think you meant the carrier page. Like, oh man, I wonder what kind of letters they're sending to the public. Do they send them on carrier pigeons these days? That's how that, can you imagine that's how you get your news? Like, there's no trailers anymore. Like, no more trailers on YouTube. Doesn't exist. No trailers on streaming services. You sign up with your physical address and they send you a letter with like some cool splash art. That's it. It's like a weird like when they've got like in movies and TV shows where the technology's like advanced but also regressed at the same time. I feel like that's what it would be like. We get trailers and commercials in our mailbox. So good. Such a gorgeous show. Like gorgeous like not show, music video and then the show obviously. But my favorite thing about this one was like the style's dope, everything's clean, but like stuff like this, like the transitions they do. And like when they do the stuff where it's like in like the later part of the video where they've got like them scaling down and stuff happening in the back, that it's like they have a really good grasp on abstraction. And I feel like that's really important. Like you can do stuff that's solid and has cool transitions and does all that, but like the way they're able to abstract the visuals to an extent too is just, yeah, it's wild. Gorgeous. Gee whiz, this looks so cool. They should make a game out of it. That's like the equivalent when people are like, "Oh my gosh, it's Master Chief from Fortnite." No, it's Master Chief from something else. Oh, I bet there are storyboards. I don't know though. My favorite storyboards and stuff, right? It's oh my gosh, what is it? Rise of the TMNT. They have the best animatics. I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm sure 40 like theirs is great too, and I'm sure it's probably maybe even better at times. But like, let me see. I don't know what any of these are, but like, yeah, I don't remember who the storyboarder is on here, but I know I followed them along. Like, I followed them for a long time before they started working on this stuff, and I was just like, their stuff is so cool. Like the way that they're able to capture motion. It like I liked this one. Like a lot of stuff too is really neat to see nowadays that like we've got so much that is us, right? So like if we're in our 30s or whatever, we, you know, however old you may be, like people working on these, right? They're like late 20s, early 30s, let's say, right? Or 40s. We all grew up with anime. Like, I mean, most of us, a lot of us grew up with anime. And it's cool because you can see that inspiration now in so much of this other stuff. Like watching this, like, this doesn't look like an American made Ninja Turtles. Like, this has like such ridiculous anime inspiration because that's what the artists like us all grew up with as our inspiration. And so it's cool to see that bringing it here to more of, you know, the US companies that are now like, oh no, we grew up with making, like, I grew up drawing Goku, right? Like that's what made me want to do art, is drawing Goku and doing these kind of anime things, or Vash the Stampede and all these. And so look, like this screams anime to me in the best possible way. 100% recommend this stuff if anybody has not seen this. I still need to watch the new Mutant Mayhem TV show. It looked cute. Never got around to watching it yet because, again, I'm the worst, but looked cute. Also seems sacrilegious that I haven't seen the Ninja Turtle stuff. I literally went to the movie theater dressed in some garb that was sent to me by my best friends of Ninja Turtles, actually. Anyway, I was rocking it. I looked real cool. Okay, well, so today was kind of a weird non-arty art day for us, but that's okay. You know, someday, not every day is a winner, right? I don't like it. I absolutely hate this drawing. I'm going to go in after stream, after lunch, and I'm just going to, my favorite thing ever, as we know, is the liquefy. So I'm just going to liquefy the ever-living hell out of this off stream. and maybe it'll look presentable, and then I can, finish up and do some colors to it or do whatever, just have something to show. But I think that's my goal. So tomorrow I'm not going to stream in the morning because the new schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10:30 to 1:30 Central US time, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays 3:30 p.m. So Tuesday, tomorrow, I will be doing in the afternoon, doing Orcs Must Die. And so for the unaware, again, let's just actually, is it can I buy it on Steam yet? Is this a thing? Can we buy you yet? Probably not. Because I don't think it had preload. I stocked up not too long ago on Steam credit is on sale. So if you see my Steam amount, don't I've been stocking up on purpose. So yeah, still no, but approximately 16 hours. So what is that? So I'll have to download it right when I get up tomorrow then. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do it now. So I'll download that when I wake up and then stream this in the afternoon and back to art. But yeah, so Wednesday, I'm going to, so I've shielded a lot, right? It is the Masters of Anatomy. So I'm going to pop back to full face cam, right? It is the Masters of Anatomy books. These books I've had, so the first one came out when I got my master's degree, oddly enough, when I was going to school. And it was, honestly, the first one wasn't even that great. The first one was like a bunch of different artists did their interpretation of like a stylized human anatomy. They did a male and a female, like 4-piece turnarounds. Really cool. And then they continued. They did a design masterclass one where it was like all these different character artists had these prompts, and it was everybody's interpretation of the Robin Hood story. So it was all these different things. And that's actually, if we go one of my old ass pieces, that was done from the Masters of Anatomy, one of my earlier 3D pieces. This was Cesar Vergara, one of his pieces from the Masters of Anatomy book. It says 3 years ago, but again, this was me reposting. This was 10 years ago, I think I made this piece. I'm old, so don't worry about it. But no, and then after that, they made Masters of Anatomy books like this. And it is, I think his name's Raul. Yeah, Raul Moreno. And what he does is he draws, imagine you're looking at like rough lines of a comic book, right? Like super etchy roughs. And that's what he does. Like you can see the back here. It's just stuff like this, right? Just super generic, but like thousands of poses. Thousands. And the Magneto I did on stream last week was pulled from one of these poses. The end result looked nothing like what Raul had made, but it sparks, right? It sparks the mind to think of how you want to draw something. So like the Magneto I did last week didn't look like the sketch, but the idea of someone floating in the air and having one leg up was all I pulled from it. And at the end of the day, but it hits your brain in a good way to start thinking. So I think what I'm going to do is Wednesday, to practice on stream then, is I'm going to just study female shapes, because that is arguably my biggest weakness. As we can see, I always make them overly beefy, overly strong. And though in my mind, there's no overly strong person, but overly strong for the style I'm trying to make. So I think that's the takeaway. So Wednesday we'll definitely crack open one of my anatomy books and just go to town. I'm not going to do finished things. They're just going to be stylized sketches of females. And then maybe Friday I'll come back and draw a couple clean, like little sketches of based off of maybe some of the poses we'll have studied and the styles I've pushed. I think that's going to be the most efficient use of time, and hopefully I can get better at that, because like I said, my stuff is not that vibe, right? Like even if we pull up like no, I'm not going to Instagram. I'm just looking at, I've just thrown a couple things on here. Like My style is definitely that of strong, harder things. I don't do soft. I don't do sexy. I don't do, overly stylized anatomy in terms of that. I just want muscles. Just give me the muscles. But yeah, I think that's a good plan. So we'll rock with that because it is now 1:30 and the timeline now, that's where we're supposed to cut it. So I think we'll call it. We will be back tomorrow afternoon to play some Orcs Must Die, and then Wednesday to draw. Oh my gosh, I was talking this whole time and realized I didn't have the pictures up. That's funny. When I was talking about my style of stuff where it's not as overly sexy, it's just more muscle people. But yeah, anyway, we'll do that. Games tomorrow and a bunch of anatomy studies on Wednesday. We'll do that live and see how that goes. So I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat. If you guys are hungry, hopefully you guys have lunch. Either way, thanks for stopping by. Hope you've got a good start to your week, right? Mondays can be a little slow, a little draggy. That's kind of how I felt even just now. So hopefully a good week ahead. And until then, be kind and kick butt.